It's mini episode time. This is for all NFL fans, not just Giants fans like myself. We are talking around the league, week 8 picks, fantasy football, and more. So tune in. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the Empire State Sports Report. My name is Adriana, also known as New York Giants fangirl on social media. The podcast is brought to you by Believe Network and FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the #1 place to make all of your sports bets, whether you want props, money line, parlays, or more. FanDuel Sportsbook has everything you need, including no sweat bets. They have boosts and everything else you could possibly look for. So make sure to download FanDuel Sportsbook and always bet responsibly. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to do my week 8 picks. Listen, we can talk about last week, but I need to move on. I'm losing it talking more about the Giants versus the Broncos. I will say the Unk Bowl was entertaining last week. What an incredible win by Joe Flacco and the Bengals over Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. There were a lot of exciting games this week. I personally loved the Bucks versus the Lions. I love the Lions. Baker Mayfield has been playing incredible, could be the MVP. He lost Mike Evans again and obviously had a tough game on Monday night, but what a week in the NFL. I think the best thing about this NFL season is that it feels like it's kind of anyone's chance this year. There's no super dynamite teams. Like a lot of teams are 5-2, which is crazy at this point in the season, but they're not powerhouses. A lot of them lost to some crazy teams like the Eagles losing to the Giants, actually getting smoked by the Giants. And then a couple other bizarre upsets like the Falcons beating the Bills. It's been a crazy season, but it's been fun nonetheless. So let's go ahead and fast forward to week 8. So, which I cannot believe we're already almost halfway through the season. It's crazy. We've got the Vikings versus the Chargers on Thursday Night Football. And as long as Carson Wentz is the quarterback of this Vikings team, I'm sorry, I just cannot pick them to win. I've never been a Carson Wentz fan. I think the experiment is over. I would take JJ McCarthy over him in a minute, but I just think that Justin Herbert and these Chargers are going to go ahead and beat the Vikings. Obviously, JJ McCarthy is still a little questionable until we see more of him, but he's got to come back from this injury and get back into it. In the meantime, I'm taking the Chargers. Next up, we've got the Dolphins versus the Falcons on Sunday. And just like Carson Wentz, I'm sorry, I cannot take Tua Tagovailoa with this. I just can't. I know that the Dolphins made some changes, so they put superstar tight end Darren Waller, that us Giants fans all know. He was moved to IR with an injury, so they are taking another former Giant, Greg Dulcich. He's going to be their starting tight end this week. And I think he has an opportunity to make some plays, especially if Quinn Ewers, who's now the backup quarterback to Tua, gets in the game. But I just think Michael Penix and this Falcons team are going to bounce back after losing to the Niners. I am taking the Falcons. Next up, we have the Bears versus the Ravens. Lamar Jackson was back at practice today. So if he comes back for the Ravens, that's going to be a huge bump. The Bears are on a win streak. I love Ben Johnson. I like Caleb Williams. I like what they're doing with the Bears. But Lamar Jackson coming back is going to make it very difficult for that Bears defense. I'm still taking the Bears here, but it will not surprise me if Lamar Jackson reinvigorates this Ravens team and they come back and win. Next up, we've got the Jets taking on the Bengals. And let me tell you something. I am going to take every single over that there is on Joe Flacco and this Bengals team, because after what they did against a very good Steelers defense, they are going to tear up the Jets. And look, the Jets are going to start Tyrod, which I found out for Baker Mayfield is the right way to pronounce it, not Tyrod. And I think we're going to see a better Jets team. I just think that the Bengals are coming off a huge week. Jamar Chase is going to have an unbelievable Sunday. There's no doubt about it. So I'm taking the Bengals here. Next up, we've got the Bills versus the Panthers. The Bills are coming off a bye. They should be in good shape from an injury perspective. But this Bills team, where I thought it was going to be a bit of a powerhouse this year, is not really looking like it. Josh Allen has made some crucial mistakes. And I just feel like the offense isn't as explosive as maybe we've seen in the past. And I'm not saying the Bills are bad. They are a damn good football team. But I just think that the way that the Panthers are playing, I don't know, could this game be closer than we think it could be? Now, they got blown out a bit by the Patriots last week, but I don't know. Maybe they could come back a little bit and play decent football. I think it could be closer. I'm still taking the Bills here, but I think the Panthers will have some life in them. Next up, we have the 49ers versus the Texans. I'm taking the 49ers here. The Texans, I don't know what's going on with them. They are really struggling. They attempted to make a really great comeback against the Seahawks, but they just couldn't hack it. And I think that this week is going to be no different. The Niners are starting to get some of their guys back from injury. There's a chance that Brock Purdy plays, a chance. Now they have Kittle back, so they're definitely going to see more of him. I'm taking the Niners here. Plus, CMC is playing like the CMC everyone knows and loves. Next up at 1:00, we've got the Browns versus the Patriots. The Browns are coming off a huge win here over those 1-5 Dolphins. So, look, I think the Browns are going to have a little bit more life in them. I think Dylan Gabriel is hopefully continuing to progress, but I just think this Patriots team is well coached. Drake May is unbelievable, and I think the Pats are going to go ahead and win this one. We're going to save Giants Eagles for last. Next up at 4:05, we've got the Bucks versus the Saints. The Bucks are going to rebound here. Yes, they're missing Mike Evans. Yes, they are missing a lot of crucial wide receivers, but Egbuka is great. He's going to bounce back after that week. Baker, I don't know what was happening with him. He just had a tough night. He has not looked like that at all since that one game. I think it kind of was a fluke. I think the Bucks are definitely going to bounce back here. They've got some guys that they're elevating that are going to help them out, and they've got a decent run game. So, the Saints are still struggling. I'm taking the Bucks. Next up, we've got the Titans versus the Colts. Look, I thought the Titans were going to show a little more life after they went ahead and fired their head coach, and now they just lost Tyler Lockett, who, did anyone even know that he was an active player on this team? Because I'm pretty sure that he has not been involved at all in this offense. I kind of hope the Giants were going to pick him up, but they didn't. So maybe Tyler Lockett will go somewhere else and have success this year, but I'm taking Danny Dimes and the Colts. They're going 7-1, no questions asked. Maybe the Titans pick it up a little bit here, but the way that Shane Steichen is scheming up this offense, they have no chance of being able to slow down Jonathan Taylor this week. I'm taking the over on probably all of his rush yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, you name it. The Colts team is going to go over this week, no doubt. 4:25, we have the Cowboys versus the Broncos. I know that the Broncos are reinvigorated after that win over the Giants, but in my opinion, that win was the more just Giants completely falling off a cliff and forgetting how to play football than it was about the Broncos having this amazing comeback. Yes, the Broncos played well in the fourth quarter. There's no doubt about that. They have been playing well in the fourth quarter, but Dak Prescott has also been playing amazing. And this Cowboys offense with what's his name? Pickens, and now CeeDee Lamb is back. I think this game could be a lot closer than people expected. And dare I say I'm taking the Cowboys? I mean, I want the Broncos to win, but I don't know. Like this is one of those games that I could see the Cowboys ended up winning. So I'm taking the Cowboys. Call me crazy. We've got a good Sunday night game this week at 8:20. We've got the Packers versus the Steelers. This is going to be a great game. Aaron Rodgers versus his former team. You know he's going to come out there trying to light it up. He's been playing well lately, but I'm taking the Packers here. They also are another team who week 1 and week 2, they look like powerhouse teams, and then they seem to fall off a cliff, and they've been winning games. They have a great record, but they just don't look as much of a powerhouse team on every side of the ball that they looked earlier on in the season. But I think that they can go ahead and beat the Steelers team. So I'm taking Jordan Love and the Packers. Don't disappoint me. Okay. I'm rooting for you guys. And our last game of the week is the Commanders versus the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. And all I have to say, I'm rooting for the Commanders here. And I know you're all going to be like, don't root for a division rival. The Commanders are like not even a division rival for us at this point. They had one good year last year, and it's not looking like it's going that way this year. And I really hate the Chiefs with like every bone in my body. And I need Marcus Mariota. Like Jaden Daniels is not playing again this week, which is not great. So Marcus Mariota, step it up, my guy. We're rooting for you. Please save all of us on Monday Night Football and go ahead and go out there and beat the damn Chiefs. I'm begging you. Last up, our last game of the week, we have the Giants versus the Eagles at 1 p.m. on Sunday. This game is in Philly, and there are some injury updates that are definitely concerning from the Giants side, not from the Eagles side, because it's perfect timing for them to get back Landon Dickerson, Jalen Carter, and Quinion Mitchell. So, and I forgot, Brandon Graham just literally unretired after Zadarius Smith retired, because of course he would do that leading up to the Giants week. Why would the Giants ever have the tiniest littlest bit of luck that ever goes past one play? Not in my lifetime. They were all ran out during the Super Bowl eras, I guess. So This game is going to be tough for the Giants. I think that this team is very competitive, and I'm optimistic about them. I don't think that they're a horrible football team. I think that they're better than what their record shows. And obviously, Bill Parcells is right. Your record is what you are. There's no way around it. But, this Giants team is filled with a lot of missed opportunities, and it's because they don't know how to win. They know how to lose. And, you know, it's not looking good for Paulson Adebo this week. I think that Brian Burns is going to end up playing, even though he did not practice on Wednesday, and neither did Javon Holland. But Brian Burns is the type that he will fight verbally, not physically, with the medical staff in order to get to play. Like, this guy has not missed a game since he's been a Giant. He plays injured. He works his ass off. We need him to play on Sunday if we're not going to have a Debo. And I think even with Brian Burns playing, I think if Shane Bowen does not know how to get his shit together, I think that if they are really trotting Tay Banks out there, I think that we're in trouble, because the Eagles all of a sudden remember that they have AJ Brown on their team and had a great game last week. So I would love nothing more than the Giants to go ahead and sweep this Eagles team this year. They have not done it since 2007. You heard me correctly. 2007 was the last time that the Giants swept the Eagles in a season. So I don't think this is going to be the year that they do it. I hope I'm wrong, but this Giants team has just let me down. That colossal fall off in Denver was one of the most horrifying things I have ever seen in my life, especially this week. So I can't pick them. So anyway, very much a bummer about the New York Giants, but it is what it is. Anyway, we are going to take a quick second to discuss FanDuel Sportsbook. This podcast is brought to you by Believe Network and FanDuel Sportsbook. And like we said, on Thursday Night Football, we've got the Vikings taking on the Chargers. The Chargers are the favorites here, but not by much. They are minus 178, and the Vikings are plus 150 to win. The spread right now is only 3.5 points. It's pretty close. And let's talk through some of the anytime touchdown scores. That's one of my personal favorite bets to make. I think it makes watching football a little bit more fun. So that's what I like to do. Plus, I have Justin Jefferson on my fantasy team. So I always have to go with the Jay Jettis touchdown, right? He is plus 140 anytime touchdown score. Jordan Mason is plus 115. And Kamani Vital is plus 125. So that is the top 3 anytime touchdowns on FanDuel Sportsbook for the Thursday night game, Vikings versus the Chargers at 8:15. Check out FanDuel Sportsbook for all of your sports betting needs. And again, make sure to always bet responsibly. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk through some fantasy stuff, because if you need a quarterback, listen, this is the week. I already talked about it. We're taking Joe Flacco, okay? I mean, I'm starting Indiana Jones because he's taking on the Titans. So if DJ is still available in your league, which, considering they're 6-1, I don't think he is, which is wild. I'm rooting for him. Let's go. Super Bowl, baby. Would that not be the most insane thing that's ever happened, is if Saquon Barkley goes to the Super Bowl and wins the Super Bowl a year after he leaves the Giants, and then Daniel Jones also does the same thing? That would be actually the most insane thing to ever happen. And I'm rooting for it. Go DJ. It's not rooting for it for Saquon Barkley and the Eagles, but couldn't do anything about that one. So DJ, Indiana Jones, let's do it, baby. So quarterbacks, Joe Flacco and Danny Dimes are your guys. Michael Penix, I think, like I said, I think they're going to bounce back a little bit this week. I think he's going to be a good option for the quarterback. They're playing against Miami, who is it's just over for them, like they're not coming back from this. So they have a bad defense, and I think that Michael Penix is going to be able to run the ball. He's going to be able to throw the ball. I think he's going to end up bouncing back and having a great week. So if you need a quarterback, those are the guys to do it. There is one more option here, and I talked about how I don't think the Jets are a good football team, but Tyrod Taylor is a decent quarterback. We know he's been in the league for a long time. He can throw the deep ball. He's not afraid to throw it. He's not afraid to throw the ball at all, unlike it seems like Justin Fields is. So Tyrod could be a good option too. He's going to have Mason Taylor. He's going to have Garrett Wilson. They're hopefully going to be able to run the ball a little bit better. So I think those could be some decent options for quarterbacks. Let me tell you some of the moves that I made on my team, because I have quite a few guys out on a bye this week. So like I said, I'm starting Indiana Jones. I have Justin Jefferson. I am starting Ladd McConkey, which I got to tell you, he's been very frustrating at week in and week out. He either gets 9 points or he gets 1 point, and there seems to be no in between, and it's very frustrating. But it's slim pickings out there when it comes to wide receivers this week. So I am going with Lad McConkey, Jay Jettis, and then I'm starting Chuba Hubbard this week, which I might regret. But both of my running backs are on bye. I am losing Kenneth Walker and Travis Etienne. So not great for me there. I had to pick up a running back. So I went ahead and picked up Woody Marks, the Texans running back. I might regret that, but like I said, slim pickings this time of year. My tight end this week is Dalton Kincaid. He was on a bye last week, and I ended up dropping Darren Waller because he's on IR. So Kincaid, I'm going to need you. I did pick up Darnell Mooney this week. I think, like I said, this could be a good option for Michael Penix and Mooney going against Miami. He's in my flex spot. I very desperately need some help there. So Mooney, you're my guy. Help me out here. I drafted Brandon Aubrey, which was one of my best draft picks through the season so far. So lucky for me, I have him. And then I went ahead and picked up the Chargers defense because, like I said, I have no faith in Carson Wentz. And I did have the the Packers, but they have been so hit or miss for me that I'm like, I'm over you guys. I need someone to like actually help me out a little bit too. So those are some options that I made, but let's go through a couple more players that could be a decent option. So if you need a running back, Isaiah Davis, again from the Jets, I think they're going to try and run the ball this week. The Bengals are not a good defense. We all know that. I don't know if Trey Hendrickson is going to be back. I don't know if that's been decided yet, but still, the Jets starting running back Breece Hall left the game with an injury. He's probably not going to be back this week. And also there's been a lot of talk of him being injured. So with that, and Braylon Allen, who they don't really use that much. He's on IR. It's going to be just like Davis, who is in there making a lot of plays and getting after it. So he's a great choice. Next up, Trey Benson, running back from Arizona. They are playing the Cowboys. We know the Cowboys defense is ass this year. If there's a week to start a running back, it's any week that any running back that's going against the Cowboys is probably a good running back to start. Let's move along to wide receivers here. There's a ton of injuries across the leagues, but like I said, Darnell Mooney, I think, is a great option. Another great option is Tez Johnson. He's now caught 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games. And while the MVP chants have not been for him, they've been for Baker. Maybe they will be for Tez Johnson by the end of this season. The Bucs are getting destroyed by injuries, whether it's running backs or wide receivers. They're struggling big time there. Tez Johnson is going to have the opportunity to make a lot of plays this week. And I know he's small, but they've got Egbuka and him, no Mike Evans. They have to do whatever they can to get the ball in these guys' hands. And Tez Johnson has proven that he can be a playmaker again, with 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks. So he's a guy I would definitely pick up. Next up is Juwan Jennings, wide receiver from the Niners. The Niners are really starting to hit their stride now. They're getting players back from injury. George Kittle is back, and I think that, Mac Jones has been playing really well. So Juwan Jennings is going to have that opportunity to be that guy this week to make some plays. We don't know yet about Ricky Pearsall or Brock Purdy, but again, Mac Jones has been playing pretty well. Who would have thought? Not me. All right, and then let's go ahead and talk about 2 tight ends real quick. So honestly, if you believe in Tua, which I don't know if anyone still believes in Tua at this point, Greg Dulcich could be a great option with Darren Waller out. He was a really great receiver for this Giants team over the last few months, and I know a lot of Giants fans were upset when they went ahead and cut him. He's a veteran in the league. He's going to be able to learn the offense quickly, and if Tua, I don't know, can get the ball in his hands maybe a couple times, Greg Dulcich should have a pretty decent game. Next up, we're going back to the Bucs here. We got to talk about Cade Otton, who is their tight end. Again, they are just being decimated with injuries left and right, and whoever is stepping up and getting that next man ability, they have to go ahead and get the ball in their hands. So whether you have Egbuka or you're picking up Cade Otton or Tez Johnson, we all know Baker Mayfield's a really good quarterback. He's going to bounce back this week. I think that kind of was just a bit of a fluke. They're playing against New Orleans. Baker's going to be fine. Pick up anyone on the Bucs. And then next up, like we talked a little bit about Mason Taylor and Tyrod Taylor and this Jets team. Again, Bengals awful defense. They're going to try and get the ball. They need explosive plays. The Jets need to be able to do something well on offense in order to finally score some touchdowns and win a game. Mason Taylor has been hit or miss. He's definitely had his drop issues. He is a rookie. I think he's going to figure it out. But I think you got to keep trying to get the ball in his hands, and he's going to catch it at some point. And I think, again, against a bad Bengals defense, this could be the week where Mason Taylor figures it out and gets it together. So, those are all my fantasy picks for this week. Good luck, everyone. I will be back on Friday previewing the Giants versus Eagles game. So if you're a Giants or an Eagles fan, get ready to tune in on Friday for more. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Thanks for listening and enjoy your week.